I wanted to play after I saw the Beatles, and I signed up for some guitar lessons, and they handed me an accordion. And for the first week or two, it was great fun. But after that, for the rest of the 10 weeks, I just carried it back and forth, and I never played. And at the end of the 10 weeks, I gave them the accordion expecting a nice shiny guitar, and they said, "I'm sorry, you have no musical ability. You're not a musician." And so I was devastated. So then I guess I waited till, we didn't have a lot of money, so I waited till I had a job so I could pay for my own guitar lessons. So it was, I guess I was 17 or 18. But there was a music store nearby, which was good to go over and look at some books. And I had a teacher for a little while. And then I didn't have a teacher. I quit after about 6 months. And then I bought that guitar there for $10 and got my old sheets out and started playing. My cousin wanted to learn, so I guess that was my first experience with teaching, is teaching my cousin how to play guitar. And I found I really enjoyed the teaching concept. I really enjoyed looking in people's eyes, and you could tell when they get it. You could just tell. And you could tell when they don't. And I very much enjoyed that experience. Then over time, I went to college. I played a lot with a few people in college. I guess I performed in my first duo with a fella named Bill Boris Schachter, and we called ourselves Inner Spring, and we did some Grateful Dead stuff and folk and blues and pretty standard things for the early 70s. Definitely the Beatles. Then I remember seeing Cream, and that completely changed my life. I was in prep school at the time with a tie and jacket, and Cream was playing at the Camden County Music Fair, and my mom said, "Oh, if you're going there, you have to wear a tie and jacket." And so we wore ties and jackets, my brother and me, and we had my cousin from Florida up to visit, and she was a hippie, and her skirts were down to here and all that, and so the three of us went to this concert, and we pulled up, and it was like nothing I've ever seen. There were a bunch of freaks, a bunch of people wearing all sorts of stuff, so we promptly took off our jackets and ties, and had our mind blown hearing Cream live. What an experience. It completely changed my world. There was a situation, I don't remember exactly what, but someone had some new video system they wanted to try out. And so there probably is a video of us playing in somebody's basement, getting out of college. I met a fella named Nikolai Worrell, and we formed a little band. I can't remember the name of it. It kept changing because bass players and drummers were hard to come by. So it was constantly people coming in and out. But we played at like the Philadelphia Navy base. We played dances there. And we played different clubs like that. You know, some Rolling Stones, some country, just kind of danceable pop music stuff. This is one of the things I like to teach people, is the idea that you have you have chords, which are made of notes, and then you have notes that are going to go with those chords. And how do you understand how to put them together? Because one thing I work on with most of my students is how to improvise. And I think, I don't think our culture teaches you to do that. We're supposed to, color between the lines, and we're supposed to repeat what you were asked to study. And I have fun when I teach people to improvise and how to do it well. And that to me is a little different. You get into a zone that is different. And I know another person I learned a lot from is Worth Prophet from Amherst. He's probably the best overall musician I've ever met and played with. We just saw him again about a week or two ago down at the second stage in Amherst, and he was playing drums. I couldn't believe how good he was. So subtle and understated. But he was the one that I was watching him play one day, and just like you're saying, you could tell the music was coming from someplace else. Feel it in here too. That's the thing, because music is about emotion, and it is about that other level, that other zone, because after you have a good show, someone doesn't come up and say, "Hey, that was a really nice G chord you played." It's like, man, that song was, wow, that was great. I do actually remember playing over at Magritte's restaurant with the Daily Planet. That was Willie Kirschbaum and Dave Bernard and Robert Ballard and Tom, what was his name? Tom Maynard. And we were playing there, and I was doing some lead, and I was definitely in some kind of zone. It came together nicely, and I do remember, kind of like you're saying, I finished it and looked over, and the band was just looking at me with their mouths, and it's like it felt pretty darn good. It felt pretty good to get acknowledgement from your teammates, your bandmates, and one thing I do miss is playing for a crowd of people dancing. One thing about Nelson County, with the flood, land was cheap, transplants came. The people I played with, we were Willie Kirschbaum, Dave Bernard, they're from New York and the outskirts. And I went to school up in New York. Jim McAvoy and Kevin Crow, they came from around the DC area. So they brought us different sensibility. I know when we played with the Daily Planet, we weren't a country band. We were like a rock and bluesy dance band. We would do some straight ahead blues stuff, which was kind of different for the country crowd. And I think we made quite a nice hybrid here of what we melded together. I think it was an interesting time. After the Daily Planet, I played with the Karma Bums, which was Jim McAvoy and Kevin Crowe and Alda Curtis and myself. And we were kind of eclectic, folky, rocky stuff. And we did a lot of performance things. Just an example would be opening up at Rapunzel's, and the whole band was just sitting in the audience, all over the audience, and someone introduced us, and we're just sitting in the audience, and all of a sudden we start tapping our feet, and we did a song that Kevin wrote called "Feet," and that was one of the chorus was "Coming Down on My Feet," so we were just stamping our feet, and we're starting to. All of a sudden, one of us says, "Feet, feet," and we all stand up and walk up and get our instruments. But we would do performance things like that. Just for fun, because it's fun. The whole thing about performance is to help people get out of their day-to-day life. How do you help them get in that zone that we're trying to get into? After the Karma Bums, it's mostly my wife and I. We go as the last straw, or mostly people call us just Joe and Alda. Push hog the fields, clean off the porch, set up the PA. The berries are ripe, there's flowers in the field. I got a handmade amp, an old guitar, a brand new set of strings. I'm gonna make these mountains sing about how I feel. Plug me in, Jim, I'm ready to play. And then I have a group that we've been playing together for probably 15 years, and it's it has a lot of different people. We call it house music, and we will be getting together tonight, and we just play at Jim McAvoy and Carol McAvoy and Brad White and his daughter Addie and Dirk Walliser and his son Oliver. Matt Blevins used to play with us, Jack Roy, bunches of different people, and it's just a lot of fun. I guess I'm greedy. Someone comes to me and they say they want to learn to play music. And I'm greedy in that I want to play music with them. So I want them to play. I think I make music very accessible. Blue Star Music was meant to be a teaching studio, but then a student comes in with a broken string. So they have to drive 35 miles to get a string. And so I had to figure out where to get strings wholesale so I could sell them. And then people would start bringing in used instruments and sell them to me, and I would buy them and clean them up. And so I learned more about guitar repair and having guitars for sale and accordions later on, and dobros and mandolins. So it just kind of happened. I never thought that I would own a music store. It was never a plan at all. It just kind of worked out this way. And I like it when I feel that happening. And I love it when someone who never thought of they could perform because they're so nervous of it. I love it when we walked out on the stage at Rapunzel's and we do a few songs. and they realize that it is accessible. I can do this. And we're lucky that Rapunzel's is right down the road and having an open mic. And so between Rapunzel's and us, I think we added a nice musical character to Nelson County. Yes, one thing that I do differently than the teachers that I had in the past. Most of the teachers I had in the past would say, okay, here you go, play this for me. Okay, yeah, no, look at this part here, look at that. Oh, you missed this. And whereas me, I'm going to sit there with the guitar and I'll say, okay, here's what the song sounds like. And we'd play. And I'll play the whole lesson with them. And they're really playing music. They're not studying music. Sally Rose in particular, she couldn't help herself about being a songwriter. She would come in with half a song, play it for me, and we would talk about it. And then the next week she'd come in with that song done, plus another half. And she was amazing like that. And she was the first person I've had that was so into writing music. And, well, actually, she's right here. And this is one of her CDs. And this one actually was recorded in my living room at the house. And so we've kind of adopted Sally Rose. Please don't call me sweetheart if I'm not the only one. You darken my door with once, and I give you all my love. Please don't bury my... Kai, who now leads Lord Nelson, for a while, his job every week was, his homework was to write a song. And at the time I was doing a workshop, and I probably had 6 or 8 people that would come, and Kai's job was to get up on the stage and perform the song that he wrote. So I kind of helped him along with that. And Alice Clare, she was interesting, and I don't think she really liked her voice in the beginning. And then she did some stuff and really developed her own vocals, and she did really well, and she did great with songwriting. And actually, she gave me an award that was interesting. At the high school, you probably know about it more than I knew about it at the time. They pick about 15 students and they give them an award, an outstanding student award. Well, those people get to choose an outstanding teacher award. And I went to the ceremony and I didn't realize that. And Alice Clare had this plaque for me about being the I forget what it says, an outstanding educator. And I was blown away. All the other teachers that got it were in the high school. And so I guess I got her attention and gave her the abilities to lead rock and roll bands, and Sally Rose playing in 3 different configurations. I don't know how many people haunting the stage at Rapunzel's for open mic. And I have another batch coming.